What to Watch on Shudder, September 27th through September 29th, 2019. Brought to you by the Signal Horizon Broadcast Network, home of Drafting Horror Podcast and the Horror Podclass. It's Creepshow week, people! Finally, after decades of waiting, we get another Creepshow. This anthology movie franchise was one of the best things to come out of the 1980s. And after seeing the first episode, I can confidently say, Shudder has done this thing so right. We were also lucky enough to get our hands on the second episode, and let me tell ya, it doesn't disappoint either. This week is our tribute to all those things short stories. There are still plenty of really good anthologies out there, if you know where to look. Luckily, Shudder has built quite a war chest of these movies that you can't get anywhere else. If you are new to the horror genre or new to Shudder, this is the place to start. I curate a list every week, so fear not. If you are into a specific kind of horror, I've created a list for you, or I will create one for you. If you would like to see what I've recommended in the past, go to signalhorizon.com.
You gonna tell me what this is all about?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You've killed before. You kill again.
I see what you did there.
There are things in the corners of this world.
Help me!
They'll drive you insane.
A new generation of horror has risen from the dead.
If you're a horror fan, this absolutely should have been a day marked on your calendar, a reminder set, and hell, maybe even have taken a vacation day so you could get extra sleep in anticipation of a spectacular night of ghoulish fun. The first episode is all we get this week, kiddos, but Tyler reviewed the first two segments, and all I can say is bravo, Shudder. You have done the franchise and yourself very proud. The only problem is I'm desperate for more. I guess we will just have to keep coming back.
Maybe you don't get out much.
Oh, this is crazy. This is totally crazy.
Maybe you're always running late.
I gotta go.
Or maybe you just have other things on your mind.
They gotta make me a movie star.
But if you only make it to one scary film all year, make it one you remember all year long. Creepshow 2. If you like movies that will keep you stuck to your chair. Stephen King and George Romero have conjured up an all-new Creepshow.
No! No! That's impossible!
Just for you.
I mean, what is it?
I don't know.
So don't just sit there.
I'm gonna swim for it right now.
Walk. Run. Swim if you have to.
I got you!
But whatever you do, don't take your time. Because the scares come twice as quickly in...
You!
Admittedly, the second film in the collection has some flaws. It is a bit of a mixed bag, with a few standouts like The Raft that keep this anthology firmly on the right side of the scale. It's a great pairing with the first episode of the new series for obvious reasons, but it also is a good reminder of just how well done those movies were to begin with. They were equal parts funny, creepy, and clever. The Hitchhiker episode will have you thinking some interesting theories about American Horror Story 1984's Jonas, that unfortunate hitchhiker. I can't say any more, just watch and hit us up to discuss. You'll see what I mean.
In this house, terror waits for you in every room.
Where are they? You must search the house, but you must find that doll.
and victims.
This was the first horror movie I ever saw. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing are genre royalty, and they do their thing brilliantly in this classic from the early 70s. The first 3 stories are really well done. The wheels come off a bit in the final story, but I'll forgive them that, because the first 3 are just so good. It is another example of why a good anthology can be just as impactful as a full-length movie plot. Watch this Saturday morning when you're tending to your own house. I'm assuming yours doesn't drip blood. If it is, it might be time to shut down the viewing and call a plumber.
Where did you find that tape?
Secret compartment. He recorded everything.
See you on YouTube. Welcome to the shop.
Oh my god, turn it off. It's not funny.
Keep going. We could edit that out.
Inside, it's not safe out here.
The original was outstanding from beginning to end. The second had some serious highs and lows. Basically, you either really enjoyed the story or you flat out hated it. There was nothing in between. This third installment is much more even in quality. The wraparound story is pretty terrible, so ignore that completely and use that time to get some snacks, take a potty break, or maybe tap the keg. Don't let the haters deter you. There is some quality storytelling here, and at the very least, all of the stories are entertaining.
Mark.
What?
You were talking in your sleep.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, you were. Here, I can play it back for you.
This all began when my girlfriend Tamara said I was talking in my sleep. It was a recent thing and I was keeping her awake every night. Wasn't sure if I believed her, so I downloaded an app that tracks your snoring. It records whenever you make any noise during the night and it backs it up to the cloud in your computer if you want. I thought I'd show her she was just dreaming, but the app picked up something.
And now for something completely different. It is obviously not an anthology, or even a movie, but something to fill those lonely hours commuting all week. It is immersive and inventive with great production value. This is the future of creative genre work. The story is well-paced, and it is easy to get lost in the world Nick Braccia and Michael Monello so adeptly build. If you are looking for something to fill your time and enjoy things like the Black Tapes and Magnus Archives podcasts, this is your next great infatuation. Don't forget to tune into the Horror Podcast and their weekly podcast on all things horror and science fiction. You might just learn something. Also look for the newest in our podcast fleet called Drafting Horror. Every 2 weeks, the hosts will draft their top 5 lists in any specific subgenre, and then they'll debate it to death. JK. Mostly they just crack jokes and give fun and obscure facts about the film. I hope we've given you some new things to consider. Let us know what you've enjoyed this weekend. Let me know what you want to see in the future. Don't forget to use the promo code SIGNAL, that's SIGNAL, for a whole month free on Shudder. Catch us back next weekend for all new selections.